The dog has decided to come drink water right next to me right at the start of the show.
You're peeing on the floor right now, aren't you?
You could take it that way, or you could take it as the... Here, you know what? Here, I'll prove to you people. There's a dog.
There's a dog.
Yep. So the dog is here, and I have to move the dog's cage to make the set happen for USfanTV, if you want to call it a set. And sometimes it freaks her out. Tonight is one of those times, apparently. So, welcome to
Welcome to
USfanTV.
US Dog TV.
US Dog TV. There's a dog. Now she's playing with her bowl. Nice. We're going to talk about, normally, we should tell you, we talk about soccer, and I am Pat, and he is Chris.
I am Chris.
And specifically, we talk about soccer in the United States, or as it relates to the United States, as we have, the U.S. soccer scarves behind us. But we're going to be talking about the World Cup and the World Cup final and all that stuff in this show, because that's what the world is talking about, and we don't matter right now. So,
not a lot to discuss regarding the old these United States.
We should tell you, it's not coming home. Very Tottenham-y. Classic Tottenham.
Yeah, they spurred that one.
I do like that England team. I grew to very much like that England team. I think they're... Now the dog is huddling up next to me and moving.
Yes, Ben, we will both be there. Ben's asking about the Dortmund Man City game. Yes, we will both be there. You can look for us. I don't think TJ's going, is he? I think he said he's not.
No, he doesn't go to games like that because they're not.
The teams are not low profile enough.
Right. TJ would rather go to, I don't know.
If Guernsey FC ever did a trip across the Atlantic, he'd be all about it. Yes.
I was
Vasco
saying
da Gama came.
Yeah, you went.
So yes, you can look for us.
You went to see two Mexican teams play.
I did.
Last night at Miller Park in Milwaukee. How was that?
It was awesome in that mi equipo, Pachuca won, but the one downside, I guess, to it was that the only American in the game now was Will. Why am I suddenly drawing a blank on his name?
Yarbrough.
The keeper for Yarbrough. Thank you.
Yeah.
Was in goal in the second half then for Leon. And that was when they gave up all their goals. So he did have 3 put past him. They were all pretty good shots. So you can't really say that, like, oh, this was his fault or something. But it did suck that, like, I saw him come out. He was warming up. He like came out kind of right in front of us. But I could see him on the bench. And nothing really happened in the first half. And then the second half, they swapped keepers and all the goals.
That's not good.
So in that regard, as a U.S. fan, it was not positive to see all the goals going on him. But as a Pachuca fan, it was cool to see. It was overwhelmingly Leon fans there. Like,
really,
there were probably 100 Pachuca fans in the whole place from the looks and sounds of things. I don't know why it was so overwhelmingly pro Leon, because.
I mean, perhaps the Mexican immigrants in Milwaukee are from closer to.
That's what I was. I was just wondering. Like, is it that there's just more people?
Right.
Leon is there. Leon is like northwest of Mexico City. Pachuca's northeast. Pachuca's like maybe, I don't know, 50 miles. I don't know.
I thought it was closer to like Cancun.
No. Neither of them are that far away. Okay. Leon is maybe 200 miles from Mexico City. They're maybe 100, 150 miles apart ish, something like that. I didn't realize until the other day they're both owned by Grupo Pachuca. So they're actually both owned by the same people.
See, it's not just MLS.
See, yeah. See.
TJ and I were at the Fire Philadelphia Union game last night, which was crazy at the very end. Schweinsteiger scored a header to tie it at 3, and then David Accam came back immediately and scored for Philly in the 5th minute. Schweinsteiger's was in the 94th minute, and Akams was in the 95th minute.
Did Akam just want to do it because it was against the Fire?
Yeah, he celebrated and he ripped off his shirt, and then he did the arms up in the air thing. Like, I can't celebrate against my old team, but he was very, very happy to be celebrating against his old team, which he should be, I suppose. Yeah, so that's got to see some live soccer, but we're going to be talking now about the World Cup. It's the final everybody had. Everybody predicted this, France and Croatia, obviously. But no, as we said, it's not coming home. England's not going to have it. Belgium, I think a team that a lot of people would have been pretty cool with being in the final the way they played. Got beat by France, being on the big boy side of the bracket. We'll do that to you, I guess. So it's going to be France and Croatia. And honestly, I mean, if you're going on paper, you'd say France, but Croatia's pretty awesome.
I'm not saying Luka Modric couldn't pull off the impossible here. Maybe it's not quite impossible, but pull off something pretty amazing. He has been. I'm kind of on board with him getting the golden ball. Like, I understand some of the arguments for some of the other guys who have come up, as people across the internet have talked about who should win it, but that dude's pretty much. I mean, Rakitic has had a good tournament, but like Modric has made that team where they are. He's carried that team through this tournament, and when Belgium, when England kind of held him in check through the first half, he managed to find a way in the second half to influence the game. And on the one hand, France's midfield is, I would say, much superior to England's, so he has the opportunity, or he faces a greater challenge, I guess, than he did versus England. So, he's certainly going to have to overcome more than he did in that case. But based on what we've seen in this tournament, man, that dude is playing out of his mind. I have trouble saying that he just couldn't make something magical kind of happen,
Christian asks the question that I texted you earlier today to ask you. So great minds think alike, I guess, or not. Should Modric win the Ballon d'Or or FIFA World Player of the Year now that they're split up if he wins the World Cup? There's a strong case there.
I think he deserves it then. I mean, realistically, he was largely well, if you're looking at it from Liverpool's point of view, he was largely to blame for their destruction. And he carried them through this tournament. Like, the two biggest games of the year, or two biggest tournaments anyway of the year, he's played a huge factor in his team at least reaching the championship. I'm not saying that, like, everyone knows my feelings about Messi and things. Everyone kind of knows my feelings even about Ronaldo. But talk about a guy who's just played out of his mind this year and probably has been the best individual, or at least most important individual player. I have trouble not counting him.
He, because of his size, is bringing up a lot of the, I think, ill-informed arguments against the U.S., saying, well, in the U.S. we don't look for players, like, small guys don't succeed. It's always, we look for big athletes. Well, I mean, Landon Donovan and Christian Pulisic are both pretty small. I mean, I think there's lots of problems with U.S. soccer, but that's not.
Tab Ramos wasn't huge.
Yeah, I mean, we're not just looking for Josie Altidore out there. It's typically midfielders or smaller players to begin with. So.
I think a lot of that argument, I mean, we'll get off the topic here, off the subject, but a lot of that argument, I think, is just, I don't know, it's an old-fashioned, ill-informed argument about, it kind of ties into that. What if the best athletes played? And it's like,
what if LeBron was the striker?
Yeah, none of that matters.
Right.
But back to the World Cup. I have trouble seeing France not win.
Yeah.
In every game, and they played in the harder half of the bracket, in every single game, they found a way to get the result they needed. I mean, you could say there are indications maybe, I guess, in both for both teams where you can look at Croatia beat Argentina 3-0. France beat Argentina 4-3. Does that perhaps mean that Croatia has some opportunities to attack, and that they can find some weaknesses in the France defense? Croatia beat Denmark 1-1. They beat them on penalties, but they drew in regular time, as did France. But you can also say that was France's third game, and they'd already won the previous two. They didn't have to win the third one. So, were they not trying necessarily to win? Were they kind of looking at it as, we just prefer to not get hurt here? So I don't know. All in all, though, I look at it as France played in the better half of the bracket, and they've gotten results however they needed them, or whenever they needed them. I don't expect this to be a high-scoring game. I think France may get a goal or two and probably sit on it, because they just don't have to. They are kind of challenging everyone. Come and beat us, and no one's been able to do it.
Two amazing things I wanted to bring up, but this is absolutely incredible, and we talked about this earlier this week too. Olivier Giroud has not recorded. Not only has he not scored, he has not recorded a shot on goal. In this World Cup.
Nuts. I'll be pulling for him to at least get a shot on Sunday. I have to admit.
And we both know that he's not. I mean, he's doing a job there in a lot of ways to hold up and play Griezmann and do some dirty work. But how is he in a team that's made it to the final, and a guy who started at striker every game, right?
Yeah.
How has he not scored a goal, or at least gotten a shot on goal?
Giroud didn't start the first one, I don't think.
Okay, maybe that's true. I mean, he's been out there enough times. You would think that he would have at least recorded a shot, but it's working. So it's working, and then
especially with that meaty French forehead of his.
Oh, it's so handsome. He's even more handsome than you, TJ.
But Chris has got us all beat there, especially with the hair he's got going there.
We should also give props to N'Golo Kante. Seriously, do you just if you have N'Golo Kante, do you just automatically probably win? Is that the way things work now?
He is another one, I think, who could challenge for the Golden Ball.
Dude's on the Leicester team, on the Chelsea team. I mean, he got his props both times, but he was, he wasn't the star, but dude's amazing.
He'll absolutely. I mean, so much of, I think, at least for the first 60 minutes probably of Sunday, are really going to come down to who wins the battle there, right. Modric or Kante.
It's going to be fascinating.
It's going to be Kante trying to stop him. Does he manage to overcome him? If he does, then Croatia gets an early goal and things have to open up. But if things open up, does it become like France-Argentina, and France just uses their speed and their technical ability to just run circles around Croatia that way?
No, that won't happen, and I'll give you a simple reason. Croatia actually does play defense, unlike Argentina.
That is very true.
So
Argentina's defense was...
I felt like, Pat, I thought on a crappier level, I felt like last night we were watching very similar to Argentina's defense.
Got to outscore them. Got to score 5.
Yeah, apparently. So
the other amazing thing I wanted to bring up is that this will be the 4th straight World Cup final in which Monaco's goalkeeper is starting for one of the teams, and the previous 3, the Monaco keeper lost for France, for the Netherlands, and for Argentina. So that does not bode well for Croatia. But that's just how does that happen? That's another one of those ridiculous things that just happen.
Well, I mean, you can make that argument right along the lines with where England's going to play Belgium again, and neither game matters worth a crap.
Yeah, that's amazing that they end up in another meaningless game.
So now, Chris, you were saying you think N'Golo Kante for the Golden Ball Award, correct?
Well, no, I mean, my real feeling is Modric should get it, because I feel like that pretty much carried Croatia through this tournament. They were a good team. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, they're a very talented team, and they probably, I mean, just about everyone said, aside from France, had probably the best central midfield going into this tournament. And Rakitic and Modric have certainly been as good as advertised.
Sure.
Well, Rakitic has been as good as advertised. Modric, I think, has been even better. Like, that guy's played out of his mind in this tournament.
Which really shows you why Real Madrid was as good as it was.
Yeah.
Over the time. I mean, I hate to say that. And I the only reason why I was asking that question is I kind of thought that'd be a good place to transition to, is kind of some of those awards eventually. So we covered both of the games while I was busy getting Mary Grace.
We haven't talked about the third place game, but
no, I mean, we talked about that.
We've kind of talked about
I don't feel the need
here. I mean, we can discuss it because whatever.
No, we don't. We don't need to. It's
Harry
England.
Kane's going to score 4 though, or something like that.
I kind of suspect it's going to end up going to penalties because it is a third place game, and I don't think either team really is going to care that much.
But again, Harry Kane cares about winning an award.
Yeah.
How close is Harry Kane to beating Owen goal for Golden Boot?
It's close. It's tight.
Is it okay?
Well,
now that they turned up the pressure,
Owen's goals.
They did really dial up the pressure and put the pressure on Croatia. Now that they've done that, I think Harry Kane is free to score a bunch of goals in a meaningless game.
Putting the pressure on video is going to be
DVD
insane.
is going to be insane. Yeah. Although France's goalkeeper plays for them too.
It's true.
So we could see some interesting choking in the final too.
Well, and I was going to kind of get to that. The golden gloves. I mean, it's going to be Sabatic. I don't think
it's happened again.
I don't think you can give it to the guy who plays for that other team in North London.
It's happened again.
There's another team in North London.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Watford.
My bad.
Watford?
My bad. San Antonio. My bad. But
West Ham's north of the river. You mean West Ham?
It's got to be, because I guess San Antonio, that American team that plays in the Premier League. That's not full. Well, no, Fulham's back too, so I guess you got 2 American teams in there.
I'm excited about Fulham being back. Fulham deserves to be in the Premier League. I like them.
Okay.
And now they've got Seri, which how? Dude was rumored to be signing for Barcelona, and suddenly he's signing with Fulham, but whatever. That's off topic.
All right, so do we want to get back on topic here? Or
yes. Right. So England, Belgium, quickly.
Who cares? 6-5 final. No one's playing defense. It's an all-star game. 6-5.
Does anybody? I mean, I don't think that the ticket sales for one game really matter in the grand scheme of things for FIFA. And I know it's a game they can sell on television, but who's really? What kind of number is it really doing? Is it really worth having the third place game?
It does seem ridiculous. It's never
I
a
love
good game.
that it's there this time around, because a bunch of Tottenham players have to go play an extra game. There's chance of injury. There's chance of like extra fatigue. I think it's fantastic this time around, but typically I am against a third place game.
Some United players too.
I'm against Chris all the time, but
yeah, like half of Belgium plays in the Premier League, but none of these players play for Arsenal. So, except for Welbeck, and he's not going to play. So, whatever.
He might.
Yeah, watch. They suddenly roll him up.
This is where you empty the bench out.
Since Golden Boot's locked up now, isn't it?
Oh.
I think all the other guys who were even close are out. So
yeah.
Short of I don't know, somebody just having a monster day for either of the teams tomorrow, like Mbappe scoring like 5 goals himself or something. I don't think there's any way that that anyone's surpassing him. So it's pretty much a done deal.
I still think that's going to turn into an all-star game. No one's going to play defense. It's going to wind up like 5-3 or something like that. That's my prediction for the third game.
I expect it to go to penalties and probably be nothing because nobody ever cares about that game. They're all upset they have to be there. They'd rather just not get hurt.
Well, and that's why, like I said, it turns into an all-star game where no defense is played, so no one gets hacked. Have they announced the referee for that one? It sounds like it's a guy from Argentina for the.
It's the guy from Argentina for the final,
championship.
I don't know.
I believe Geiger is doing VAR for the third place game.
Okay.
I don't remember who's actually reffing it. I think it's an Italian guy. I want to say I saw it today. I don't remember, but I.
Well, in that case, we may already know the outcome.
What do you mean?
All right, so let's get on with it. Third place game. Do we have a prediction? I'm still going 5-3. Somebody. I don't care which one.
I don't care. I'm not even going to pick it. I'm
going penalties. And I'll actually say England wins on penalties.
Third place is coming home.
Third place is coming. That's about appropriate. That'll teach them to Brexit.
I was pulling for England. Like any team, I was pulling for England and Belgium, and so it was. I have the curse of Combs.
Apparently, you do the curse of Combs. Yeah. Did you not get your penicillin shot?
That might help, I suppose. But yeah, I was pulling for England and Belgium, and of course, it was France and Croatia, which is fine. It's probably a better final that way as it is. But
I don't remember what I predicted for that one, but I know I would have picked Croatia just because that's the guys when I was in Afghanistan, I was working with every day. It was the Croatian army, so I knew a dentist and a doctor from Croatia that I worked with every day. So,
and by the way, making fun of TJ, remember when we were speaking about how before you got here, TJ, we were talking about how Pachuca and Lyon or Dortmund and Man City, you're not going to that because they're not small enough teams for you. I noticed the Aurora Borealis scarf hanging behind you.
Yeah. We went to Charlie and I went to a few games. It was fun. I'm not going to say it wasn't, but it's at a high school turf field. It's nothing special. We have not gone this year since they turned into like the Section 8 level of butthurt about everything. They decided, hey, we're going to mock the Chicago Fire. I don't understand that. It went from a marketing.
That was dumb.
I don't understand from a market. You guys, Chris, you're the marketing guy. I mean, I don't understand that. It makes no sense. So
I understand it, I guess, in theory, from that angle, and that any news is good news when you are small enough that all you're trying to do is get your name out. But realistically, you're kind of embarrassing yourself to everyone else. And did you make yourself that relevant anyway? So,
well, and I kept coming back to the fact of you want people who are soccer fans to come watch you play. And most of those are going to go watch the Fire first. So instead of ripping the Fire and saying they suck, where people are like, well, that's what I like going to, you say, hey, why not come out and see us too? We're here, kind of thing. And that when they did that, that's what I was interested in, not so much. Gray camouflage doesn't work in a bedroom. No, it doesn't. I'm not in a bedroom.
Alex, that's not racist to Italians. It's just anti-Italy.
And it's not even anti-Italy. It's the truth of the Italian referee. It's the truth of the Italian league.
It's true.
It's the truth of the Italian league where money changes hands before the outcomes are often known before the game.
Why do you love small teams, TJ? Because he's a soccer hipster.
Speaking of small teams and Italy, you have to read The Miracle of Castel Sangro if you have not read that book. It's a very, very excellent book.
Some of us go to work and don't have that kind of time, Pat.
You can read a book like over the course of several nights. You could get it done. If you know the words. Do you know the words?
Probably not. I don't. I mean, short of a coloring book, would you trust Chris reading anything?
Who says I can't read?
He's a fairly. I'm not going to knock him on that. He's a fairly well-read guy, and he can write.
Does he color within
a lot of him?
I was more worried he could still get color within the lines than anything else.
That just comes down to my hands shaking all the time.
What did you channel Urinal Luke? You get that joke, don't please tell me you get that joke, Chris.
I won't explain it. It could probably work for both of you guys. But anyway, back onto the subject. Yes, Pulisic does have Croatian roots. He could have played for Croatia.
Yes.
He might be regretting that right now. But
wasn't that?
I doubt it.
Wasn't that how he got? That's how he
is full. He is full-born, full-bred American. So just because you have ancestors that are from another country doesn't necessarily mean that you would choose to play for them, even given the opportunity.
Yeah, his arm looks like a Walmart shirt, so he's proud to be an American, I think.
Unless it's Italy, then maybe you do go with your ancestry. Isn't that how Pulisic got to Europe before he was 18?
Yes.
Though he has a Croatian passport, doesn't he?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, his middle name is Mate, which is like his grandfather's name or something.
I'm looking
Anyway,
up our
back-
section for the game, by the way. We are in section 356.
I'm seated
where we
right,
are.
like directly behind Pat, so I'm in the same section, I presume. Then
I'll be sitting in front of my TV and enjoying life.
section 1, section 0.
I like to call it Fort Living Room, but yeah, same difference. So, Christian, how did I get to?
Oh, it's Alex's dad. Sorry.
What's that?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right, because he always comes up as Alex on there.
Did we tell Alex to go do his homework yet? Have we done our usual routine of telling Alex to do his homework?
We'll do that at the end.
All right.
Other big news: one, Cristiano Ronaldo has moved to Juventus.
Did we even predict the final?
No.
I gave my prediction. You guys give yours. Do it.
Well, it's going.
We're totally off
Yep.
the rails right now.
Well, that's normal.
Croatia 1, France 0.
Croatia 1, France 0.
That's not actually what I think, but that's what I'm saying right now. I think France will win deep down, but I have been wrong so many times. I'm going against my own gut instinct and telling you that I think Croatia is going to win. So
Before France played the U.S., I was pretty bullish on France, and then after the U.S. game, I kind of watching.
Are we great now that we tied the World Cup finalist France?
I think the only thing I took away from that
joking,
game,
of course.
Right. The only thing, obviously, the sarcasm, but was Hugo Lloris having the yips, because that was kind of the concern. I mean,
he's not in the tournament.
He's
not in the tournament, at least to this point.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't yet. So it's, I mean, maybe Coach Popovich got to him and got him settled back down, I guess. So, that was my concern with France. Other than that, I thought France was the best team in the tournament going in. But I was big on Croatia. I always thought Croatia with their midfield, I'm like, they're going to be a tough out for everybody as well. And I forgot about Subotic altogether, and he's been absolutely phenomenal. It's going penalties. 0-0 going to penalties. Subotic makes one extra save. Croatia wins.
If he plays the way he certainly has, and yeah, I wouldn't want to go to penalties against them for sure. I still think France just finds a way to score. Like Pat's comment before, Giroud doesn't even have a shot yet, but they have goals from defenders. They just find a way right now. Like they haven't even played to their potential in this tournament, and yet they still can't be beaten. I have trouble believing that even Croatia can pull it off. I'm not putting it past them because Modric has been so good, but I still think it's either 1-0 France or it's 2-1 France. I hedge my bets there and give 2 scores.
I don't
say more, and one of them will be right probably. I'm going to keep going.
Or it's Croatia.
A team will win. A team will win.
All right, so how are we taking off the rails next? What's next to take it off the rails?
Alex's dad says we're gonna. Alex, clean your room.
Alex, clean your room.
It's a summer. He probably doesn't have much homework, but clean your room. It's a good idea to do that.
And cut the grass. Cut the grass tomorrow there, son. All right. Ready to move on?
Ronaldo.
Sure. Yep. Whatever. I can't believe it actually happened. To me, the bigger news isn't so much that Ronaldo joined Juventus. It's like, what's going to happen now? What are the dominoes that are now going to fall? Every summer, as an Arsenal fan, I know about waiting for these dominoes to fall. Oh, one of these days, one of these big signings is going to happen, and then everyone's going to. It finally occurred. And what is Real going to do to fill that spot? I really wondered if it was truly happening a couple days in advance when there were some rumors about it, plus a few days before that when Real came out and denied that they had spoken to Mbappe or PSG about buying him. It seems to me all of a sudden, because, I just, anytime a team comes out and says, nope, we didn't talk to anyone about this, that I heavily suspect the opposite is true. So I'm guessing they are all in on Mbappe. he's going to suddenly become the most expensive transfer again. And was he before Neymar? Did he pass? He passed Pogba, didn't he? Anyway,
Yeah,
whatever. I think that's going to happen. And then maybe they go with Harry Kane too, who we can have my comments. I can make my comments about what I've said about Harry Kane in this tournament. But I could see Real grabbing both of them and having trying to just stick Kane out there as simply a goal scorer, and then Mbappe as kind of the real replacement for Ronaldo.
So they would not be going Lewandowski in that case.
No,
My feeling is Lewandowski is too old at this point.
No,
I would prefer Harry Kane, and I'm not just saying that because I want him out of North London. I would prefer Harry Kane over Lewandowski.
I thought Harry Kane was in San Antonio. I'm confused.
But yeah, does Bale leave?
I thought Bale. The rumors are that it's nearing with United. Now, granted, it's the off season. It's a team from Madrid, and either of the teams from Manchester right now. All you hear are rumors about them. So, is it truly happening? Who the hell knows?
I guess I see right now with Ronaldo leaving. My guess is it's either Mbappe or Neymar. It's one or the other. I don't think you're going to get them and Harry Kane. I think Bale has to leave for that to happen.
I could see Bale leaving anyway. I think it's more Benzema probably goes, because he's another one that he's kind of near the end of his career. What else does he have left at this top level? But he could still move somewhere and make quite a bit of money for another 2-3 years at a smaller team. But is he a Galacticos any longer? I don't know.
I mean, this should mean
Galactico.
It doesn't, but this should mean maybe there's going to be a different winner of the Champions League next year. This could open things up, or maybe they'll just completely turn the team over and
win again.
Yeah.
With Sergio. Well, as long as you've got Sergio Ramos not getting red cards for destroying people, you're going to stand a chance. I mean, I feel like with Ramos, you have a better chance of him going to jail for murder than you do of him actually getting a red card for destroying somebody. So that always gives Real Madrid a fighting chance. That said, They don't have Zidane, so I think we do see a new champion. And no, it will not be Liverpool, not be the San Antonio Spurs. I have no idea who it's going to be, but it's going to be
Barcelona or Bayern then.
I like Zero Anonymity's comment, Chucky Lozano to Real Madrid, according to my Mexican friends.
Although I do want to see Chucky play for a bigger team in a bigger league. I want to see what he can do, because the dude does look like a pretty good player. So I'd like to see him move and go to England or somewhere so we can see what he can do.
I guess when it comes down to it, Pat, you mentioned Bayern. I feel like Bayern, I just lost a whole lot of energy thinking just after watching Germany collapse. I'm like, well, Bayern's going to be the next piece to go downhill.
Maybe it was just Ozil's fault. Everybody believes, I guess, but
they do basically believe that it was the Bayern guys versus all the fancy ones.
What was it called?
The bling bling gang. Right?
Yeah, the bling bling gang. Just like Ozil and
the dead frog,
basically the immigrants, and then Julian Draxler, as it was being explained, against the.
Well, it's all the non-Bayern.
Yeah.
Rich names, effectively, right. Versus all of the rich Bayern names.
I mean, I don't get me wrong. I still think Bayern wins the Bundesliga by Christmas. That's not going to change any. But I'm not sold that they're going to win they're going to be anything in the Champions League this year any more than they were last year. So.
Zero Anonymity just called you out, head guy.
I wasn't cheering for El Chucky.
Cheering for Lozano, the new landed.
I was not. I just want to see him. I want to see what he can do.
Yep.
I'd like to see him fail. But I don't know that he will, but I'd like to see that.
I don't know. I saw something. Hack guy, do you have a beer tonight?
No, it's a LaCroix.
Oh, jeez.
I had a beer last night at the game. I don't need to have another beer.
He's had one in the last 24 hours. That's quite enough.
I'm not from Wisconsin like you guys.
I mean, I'm drinking Budweiser. I'm really not drinking beer.
You guys are going to get hammered and go mudding or something, or drive your four-wheeler off a cliff?
I don't know why you're talking about mudding. When we get drunk in Wisconsin, we go cow tipping. Get it right, dude.
I was gonna say, like,
You
have literal family that go hogging,
or we put realty signs in somebody's
noodling.
Or Chris, we put realty signs in somebody's yard.
Yeah, maybe. Actual U.S. news. I think we talked last time about the Pulisic to some team in the Premier League about how
the Spurs
the
rumors. Yes.
I don't know who that is, so I'll just stick with some team.
San
the
Antonio.
58 million pound move that, or whatever it is, something like that, that no one can actually cite an original story on. So it's just an internet rumor or Twitter rumor or something. Bobby Wood just moved to Hanover.
Yes. On the Pulisic thing, the number seems about right. It doesn't seem crazy that Tottenham would have
50, maybe it was 50
inquired or
whatever.
It doesn't seem insane.
Yeah.
And just because a team's inquiring doesn't mean it's happening, or that, none of that. It just, the idea that it was floated doesn't seem crazy, but that doesn't even appear to be true. At least that report wasn't true. So, who knows?
And now we've got Jesse Marsh moving to.
Yes, that was weird.
That's a lot weird. Yeah, that's.
I mean, it is and it isn't. Like, it's weird that he's moving from a head coaching job to an assistant.
And he's going to be an assistant for 2 years under two different coaches.
Yeah.
All that seems very weird to me. It's not weird that he wants to go to Europe. That seems like a good thing, but I do think he's one
within
of the better
the
American coaches.
Moving within the Red Bull leadership, the program, whatever system, is probably a long-term plus for him. And then sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it kind of raises a question. No, with Red Bull, it truly is a system that Leipzig, Salzburg, New York, they all try to play a similar style, and the parts become a lot more interchangeable, where I don't know if that's necessarily the case with the Man City family. I think that's true. The ultimate goal. But here's my question. When they bring in Nagelsmann, is he going to conform to the Red Bull system, or is he going to implement his own system? And how does Jesse Marsh fit into that? And then, of course, Adams moving over with him, I guess, is the other rumor.
Yeah, that's the interesting one that, maybe at the end of the season, Tyler Adams may move as well. I think everyone is on board with Adams moving to Europe, probably to the Bundesliga top on the list. I'm surprised that it takes perhaps his coach going to get him over, because he's already been rumored to be in so many discussions previously.
My guess is they're not related. It just happens to be that way.
Maybe.
Because what I've read is he's going to be signed. All right, Pat, you're laughing at something.
Just laughing at Anonymity's comment. It's as simple as Red Bull giving the team wings. No other team has that.
No, but they do have their own Formula One team, so they can get there really fast too.
They run the same system with the Formula One team too.
And so. If you're not first, you're last, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess with Tyler Adams, the rumor was that he's going to sign with Leipzig, and then he's going to be transferred back to Red Bull New York for the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Or loaned out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, where's Leipzig to comment on this?
And no shit, what happened?
That dude hasn't been around a while. We got to find him. Yeah, and he's too cool.
I'm going to blame you, Pat.
Speaking of players moving to Germany, Chris Richards from FC Dallas is joining Bayern's U19 team. Is that right? I have it in front of me. I believe that's right. He's moving over to Bayern because FC Dallas and Bayern, I didn't know this until this week, have some sort of partnership. And so he's going to be the first player to make a move over to Bayern to play in their youth system to see what he can do. So cool.
Well, he's being loaned to Bayern.
Right.
That's fascinating, but I guess you hear about those all the time. I guess you're right. This is the first one where they actually are utilizing it as opposed to
you don't often
as opposed to just a press conference. So,
and Christian asked if I've read the Michael Bradley article in The Athletic. I want to. I saw it, the headline today, and I did not read it.
he hasn't signed up. He hasn't paid for The Athletic yet.
That's the thing. I haven't, and I'm thinking about doing it because it seems like there is a lot of good stuff
I
on there.
haven't either, so I read the free part of it, but I haven't read the rest yet.
So, all right. What other fun things do we have?
Yes, anonymity. He is American. This Texas guy, Chris Richards.
His name's Chris Richards. He might be.
Chris Richards.
Beyond that, I think we've got we hit the list of my notes coming in. So,
are you guys sad for the World Cup being over? Or are you ready for it to be over?
I'm surprised. Like it seems to have gone by so quickly. It doesn't seem like it's been a month. It seems like it's been about 2 weeks.
I do like the beginning of the World Cup better than I like the end of the World Cup.
You could say the same thing of the NCAA tournament.
It's the same concept. Yeah, it's the games coming at you like crazy, and
anything could happen, and now you kind of have. It's like preparing for Christmas, and now it's like, oh yeah, it's gonna be over.
I mean, if you're France or Croatia, you're pretty excited. It's the end of the World Cup, but I think that's kind of the thing. We're always out well before this. We were out in October this time around, but yeah, I like the craziness and the excitement of the Open more than I like because like there aren't games every day now, and it already kind of feels over. I'm not going to watch Saturday, so
no. And it's funny is Grant Wall's like, okay, what do you do now that the World Cup's over? It's like you go back to watching
club seasons.
Club seasons are about to start, but what are you going to do in the morning? I've got the Tour de France for a couple more weeks that'll keep me occupied in the mornings with live sports. You got Australian rules football if you wake up that early. If you have kids that wake you up that early, it's always a decent thing. But Ricardo Silva, our favorite Brorel guy, the FC Miami owner, apparently is defaulting on payments for some of the leagues that he's bought rights to. That's the new rumor.
That's a good way to keep them going. That works, right? That's how you run a business.
You don't make so maybe the $4 billion wasn't realistic after all. Go figure. So, what other fun stuff?
I'm getting to the point where I hate most of soccer Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Soccer Twitter is the new supporters group.
I do say they're part of the. I mean, with the stuff going on with the fire.
Oh, that's the worst part.
Chamber, they're all speaking to themselves about problems.
First world problems. Very much first world problems.
Yeah, it's. I hate the whole. Everybody's angry and everybody's negative and everybody's knows the answers for like some of the everything there's like we've talked about many times. There's lots of things that could be tweaked or fixed with the U.S. system. Obviously, it's not working as well as it should be. But the people who think that Grant Wall is in some sort of vast conspiracy to prop up MLS or whatever, like it's like they think that everybody's tied together. Like that's not happening.
We all know Grant Wall is on the payroll of the NFL, and his job is to subvert soccer and destroy it from the inside out. Much like all the MLS owners, that's their job to prop up the NFL further. We know that's the truth. And when some dude finds this on YouTube like 6 months from now and goes, holy crap, look at that conspiracy. I'm joking.
No, you're not.
Yeah, maybe not.
Mike asks, after Pulisic, who's the second best U.S. player?
That's a good question.
That's a good question because I don't know right now. Because I don't think you're going to – I hope we don't see the return of Bradley or Dempsey.
Landon Donovan.
I don't really want to see Josie Altidore return. Yeah, I don't know. Are we going all-time or are we going current players?
I don't care. Either way, I'm still going with Landon Donovan. Either way, Landon Donovan.
Current – He retired because he knew Chris was going to be in the stands. Current players.
He is kind of dead to me right now.
It's tough to say. Weston McKennie, Tim Weah, guys, and these are guys.
Brooks,
I mean, yeah, Brooks. I mean,
Brooks is probably
Zach Steffen,
the guy to note.
DeMarcus Beasley. He'll still be there in 4 years.
I hope.
Thanks, Christian. We did that.
I am pretty high on Matt Miazga. I don't know that I'm ready to say he's number 2, but he's certainly in my top 5.
Who does number 2 work for?
It is, it is kind of like freeing though that this World Cup is over, because we do have this group of guys that we are excited about. We're not like we don't hate them yet. Like everybody will eventually. Some of these guys think. I mean, I want you to mark this down right now. Some of these guys in this current crop of like 19-year-olds that we're all very excited about right now, the U.S. soccer world will hate them in like 4 years, or especially like 8 years.
Like Julian.
Pulisic might be hated. Like
See, I don't think
he
it'll
might be
happen to
Pulisic
Pulisic,
cakes. It happened to Landon.
It's not
And that was-
impossible.
Like I'm talking about the Landy cake stuff in like 2007, 2008. I'm not talking about
Yeah.
now with the Mexico thing. Like it will turn on some of these guys. Like it's. But now is like this time where the Russia's World Cup's almost over, and we do get to look ahead and at the next one, and everybody's excited about all these young guys, and then slowly but surely we'll start knocking them down one by one. Pulisic's not scoring enough. What's Weston McKennie doing out there? Why isn't Josh Sargent scoring enough? Zach Steffen sucks. It'll happen. It'll happen to one of these guys. Trust me, at least one.
Well, Josh Sargent's a ginger. He has no soul. I never expect to see that from him.
That's how he can survive, though. If he has no
Sure.
soul, he can.
He's soulless, yeah.
Yeah.
Is Cameron a giant douche? It's certainly possible. There are a lot of things. There are a lot of ways to look at everything that's come out over the last 9 months. Really, about 6 months now. It does make you wonder, what is he like as a person?
He seems like a very intense guy.
Yeah.
He also seems like a giant douche. I can't argue
Maybe.
that point.
Maybe not. I don't know. Like on one
was
hand, I
kinda
do think they're.
struck by in one of those interviews, I was kind of struck by the fact that he seems to live alone and do like nothing with anyone.
We talked about I think
Do
there's
people just
something-
not like him?
I think
There's got to be more to
things-
that story.
Yeah, there's something we don't know there. That's how I'll put that. But yeah, I don't necessarily think he's a bad dude. I don't know. He strikes me as a very intense dude, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing, although it can definitely, guys like that can definitely rub people the wrong way. So
I'm just going to throw this out here tonight because we've taken the show off the rails enough times. I think one of these weeks we need to have anonymity on just for sheer, because his comments, we need to have these in real
I'm
time.
scared that he's like 12.
Well, then we can tell him to do his
No
homework.
offense to our 12-year-old viewers. I think Alex is probably older than 12 at this point, but I don't know.
Anonymity, how old are you?
I kind of like that he is anonymous right now.
It's true.
Ooh,
He's
he
not-
is super
Well,
patriotic.
Well, and
Yes.
we're also getting back to the point where the Bundesliga's about to dial up. I think we need to have those guys back on again.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
guys are smarter than us.
Well, yeah, so I think it's a perfect show. Actually have smart people on for a change.
I mean, I could just run the board basically and let other people talk if that's what we want to do. If we're going in the smart direction.
It's true.
Yeah, you guys could tell us your thoughts on who we should have on. And on that note, I think we fit the wall here.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
kind of a short show tonight.
Website and social. Yeah, 54 minutes. Website, social media. You know what to do. It's USfanTV. TJ, do you have any final words?
Follow Chris on Snapchat. That's all
Up
I
and
got
running.
tonight.
All
Yeah,
right.
great stuff.
Enjoy the final. We'll see you. I don't know when. Maybe we'll see you at the Highbury Pub in Milwaukee on Sunday. Chris and I will both be there. You should be there too. You are done.